This time, we are going to work on prepositions. So let's work on a few prepositions. Without further ado, I'm going to go straight to the point. An introduction here is, well, prepositions, they have many uses in English. Now, for instance, they can express time, like in 2025 at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., during the meeting. Yeah, so during is also a preposition. Now, these were prepositions of time. Also, speaking of prepositions, we have prepositions of place, which is on the chair, at a restaurant, yeah, behind the sofa. Yeah. So all prepositions of place. We also have prepositions of directions. Prepositions of directions are to the store, from Japan. Yeah. All prepositions of direction. Now, prepositions of method. Yeah, what are prepositions of method? We can say by mail. Yeah, that's how we send something. We can send a package by mail. Yeah, or we can eat our food with preposition a fork. Yeah, we use a fork to eat the food. Now, another one here is um, prepositions we can use for material. We can say of wood. Yeah, wood is a material. Yeah, or with cotton. Yeah, cotton is a material that we can use in our clothes. Yeah, so prepositions. Today, this lesson is I'm going to share with you some common prepositions in English. Now, one preposition we have here is some of the prepositions we have, common prepositions in English, are about. Yeah, so we can start with about, which could be on, yeah, the subject of or around a place. For instance, I read a book about war. Yeah, so I'm using about as the preposition for the subject of. So this book was on the subject of war. This book was about war. Now, another use of about as the preposition, the speech was about causes of cancer. Yeah, so I'm using the preposition about to talk about the subject of the speech. Now, another use of about, yeah, is, like I said, around a place. So I can use, you can now move freely about the cabin. Yeah, so around that place, around that cabin, I'm using preposition about to express around a place. Another preposition, another common preposition we can use in English is above. Now, that's on top of something. Yeah, that's above. For instance, I placed the portrait, yeah, above, well, perhaps above where my chair is. Yeah, so it's above the chair. Yeah. Now it's in a higher position. Yeah, on top of my chair. Now, um, the sky above me is pretty cloudy. Yeah, today. Yeah, so I'm describing that the sky is above me. Yeah, is in a higher position on top of my head. Yeah. And what else? Oshi. Yeah. Um, Barilero. What's a barilero? Now, here, across from is another preposition. Again, prepositions we can use in English. Another preposition we can use in English is across or across from, which means on the other side of something. For instance, the theater is across from the bank. So we have a theater here, we have the street. As we cross, yeah, on the other side of that street is across from. So the theater here is here, the bank is here. So we can say the theater is across from the bank. Now, there is a difference between, and that's another preposition, is we can use preposition of in front of, which means the same side of the street. whereas across from is the other side of the street. So let's say there's a bank here and there is a bus stop on the same sidewalk. We say there is a bus stop in front of, yeah, that bank. Yeah, there's a bus stop in front of the bank. Now, if it's the other side of the street, we don't say in front of, we say across from, because we need to cross the street. It's on the other side. So we say there's a theater here and a bank here, different sides of the street, but they are in front of each other. Would say the theater is across from the bank. Now, another preposition we use in English is after. After is another preposition in English, and that means later in time. For instance, after my life, yeah, I will play some video game. Yeah, so I'm talking about later in time. After, when the live is finished, I'll play some video game. Yeah. Another preposition we can use in English is against. Now, what is against? Against. Against is something that is opposed to. Yeah. So something that is opposed to or in contact with. For instance, I can say the umbrella. So in contact with something, I can say the umbrella is leaning against the wall. It's touching the wall, in contact with the wall. I can use my back. Yeah. My back is leaning against the chair. Yeah. So I'm in contact. My back is in contact with the chair. Yeah. That's one of the uses of preposition against. Now, opposed to, I could say something as an opinion. For instance, I am against, or let me use another person just so we don't get into trouble here, actually. But yeah, Mr. Peter is against using his money with superfluous things. Yeah, so he doesn't like this idea. He's opposed to that idea. Yeah. Another preposition we can use in English is along. Now, that's on the side of something. Yeah. So I could say, I walked or strolled along the bank of the river. Yeah, so there's a bank of the river. Yeah, like the inclined part that touches the water of the river, and I can say I walked or strolled. Strolled is a leisure walk. Yeah, that river. Yeah, that's another use of another preposition in English. Another preposition we have in English is among. Now, what's among? Among is in the midst of something. Yeah, involved with something or someone. It could be people. For instance, there are many flowers, and I could say there is a cat sitting among the flowers. Yeah, so the cat is seated and it's involved with the flowers. Yeah, there are a lot of flowers around that cat. Another preposition we have in English is around. Now, when do we use around? We use around to describe something in a circle, yeah, turning a corner. Yeah. I can say, let's say there is a teacher, and I can say there is a big room, and I can say the teacher walked around the room. So the teacher is walking in a circle, making sure he sees what all of his students are doing. Another preposition in English is at. Now, where do we use at? We use at for clock time, yeah, and we use at for place as well, especially names of institutions or for a place in general. For instance, my life started at 2 p.m. Yeah. So I'm saying at, and I'm giving the clock time. My live started at 2 p.m. Now, when I'm talking about institution, I can say, I bought my phone at Apple Store. Yeah. So at for the name of the institution, Apple Store. Now, another one could be, for instance, oh, where are you right now? And I could say, I am at home. Now, I'm saying at for the general, yeah, like I said, the general place, but I can also use at, and then I use in for a specific place in that location. So I say, I am at home in the living room, for instance. Yeah, that's one example of preposition in, but I'll come back to that one. Another preposition we have in English is before. Now, when do we use before? We use before for something the opposite of after, actually. That's earlier in time. Now, an example of that is before breakfast. I like to meditate and exercise. Yeah. So, and even drink water, actually. Yeah. So, before breakfast. So, what happens first? First, I meditate, then I exercise, I drink water, and then I have my breakfast. So before breakfast, another preposition we use in English. Now, here, um, another preposition we can use in English is behind. Yeah. Now, when do we use behind? In back of. Now, what do I mean back of? Yeah. I could say definitely that I am sitting behind my desk. Yeah, I am behind my desk. I can even say that I'm hiding, yeah, behind my headset. So I am behind. Yeah, I am in back of. Yeah, if that makes more sense for you. Another preposition we have in English is below. Now, what's below? Below is under something, which is another preposition, under. Yeah. For example, my right hand is below my left hand. Yeah. That may look like the opposite way for you. Yeah, this may look like my right hand, but this is actually my left hand. This is my right hand. Now, another preposition that is common in English is beneath. Now, when do we use beneath? We use for something, again, under, pretty similar to below, yeah, or something that is lower in status. Yeah, for instance, cats love sleeping beneath cars. Yeah, under cars. Yeah, or even tables. Yes, cats love sleeping beneath cars or tables. Another example. So this is under. Another example of beneath preposition, which is lower in status, as I was saying before, is let's say a person has a lot of skills. This person is really skilled in what they do. I could say, like, okay, but if you accept that job, don't you think that working for this company is beneath you? Yeah, is going to lower your status. It's going to be less of an important thing for you because you have more skills that then this company can provide for you. Yeah, or this company can teach you. Now, another preposition we can use in English is beside. Now, what's beside? Next to, in proximity, usually on one of the sides, right or left. Yeah. For example, um, oh, it's a little bit behind, but I can say my sculpture here is beside me because it's on my side. Yeah, so that sculpture is beside me. Yeah, it's on my right side. Now, another preposition we can use is besides with an S at the end. Now, what is the use of besides? Besides is in addition to, yeah, something that we are adding. Yeah. For example, I'm going to the cinema tonight. But besides myself, Peter and John are going. Yeah. So, in addition to myself, besides myself, Peter and John are going. Another preposition we have, yes, we have a lot of prepositions in English, and I'm sharing some of the most common that you will hear. Another preposition that I have here is between. Now, what is between? When do we use between? We use between for in the middle of two things or two people. Yeah, I could say definitely my head is between my two hands. Yeah, so I am in the middle of something. Yeah, my head is between my two hands. Another preposition we have in English is beyond. When do we use beyond? For more than or farther than. Have you watched a Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story? He usually says, to infinity and beyond. Yeah, so beyond, yeah, is farther than. He wants to go more than the infinity. Yeah. Another preposition in English is by, by. Now, when do we use this preposition? Well, it could be near something, it could be ownership of something, and that's a very common one. And I'm going to share an example so you know what I mean. And method. Yeah. For instance, one example of near, I could say, I live by the sea. I live near the sea. I live by the beach. I live near the beach. Now, ownership, yeah. For instance, this live is being delivered by me. Yeah, so I am the owner of this live. I am giving this live. Yeah, I'm teaching this live. Yeah. Or I can share one example here. Yeah. Wow, that's going to be pretty hard actually to share this one, but because that will be a very different name. But let's say this book, yeah, was written by an author. Yeah, I'm not going to say the name because this is a German name. But anyway, now by because of ownership, or like I said, method. Yeah, we can use by for method. Yeah, of something. For instance, I will send this box by mail. Yeah, so I'll go to the post office and send this box by mail. So it's the method in which I'm using or I'm sending something, this box, for instance. Yeah. Another preposition we have in English is despite. Now, what is despite? Despite is in contrast with something. For instance, despite the rain, I still go out for a run. Yeah. It doesn't matter. In contrast of raining, it doesn't matter for me. I will go for a run. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop running because of the rain. Despite the rain, I'm still going to run. Yeah. Another preposition in English is down. Now, when do we use down? When, well, basically it's the opposite of up. Down, up. I ran down the hill. So I'm going this direction, basically. Yeah. Another preposition in English is during. When do we use during? Now, when we are in progress of something. For instance, last night there was a terrible storm during the night. Yeah, so in progress, a terrible storm in progress at night. Yeah. That's another example of use of during. Another preposition in English, and that's a common one. You see, I'm sure all of you have seen this one, is for. F-O-R. Now, for is for the, and a lot of people actually ask the difference between for and to. Well, that could be another lesson because I'm showing a lot of examples of a lot of other prepositions. Here, when do we use for? For an intended or an intended, recipient. Yeah, for the purpose of something. One example of that is this gift is for my friend. Yeah, so this gift is intended to be received by my friend. This gift is for my friend. I bought a present with the intention to give to my friend. Another use of for, like I said, is for the purpose. Yeah. So I'm saying, I am taking this course. I'm studying this course. It's already finished, just an example. But okay, I studied this course for my degree in education in order to have access to teaching English for people all around the world. Yeah. So that was the purpose of this certificate here behind me, which is another preposition. I shared that before. Another preposition we have in English is from. Yeah, we mostly use from for origin, as I had said. Yeah, and I believe a lot of you know when we say, "Where are you from?" Yeah, it's the origin. Yeah, where are you from? Oh, I am from this country. I am from that country. I am from that country. Yeah, so, or city. Yeah, so we are using from for the origin of someone or something. Yeah. Or another common use, if we are talking about routine of from, is to the start time, yeah, of something, yeah, or place. Also, for instance, this store opens from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, so starts at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., which, by the way, to is also a preposition. Now, another preposition we can use in English is in. Now, when do we use in? To talk about something that is inside something else. Now, there is a piece of cotton in my shirt. So, in my shirt, I take a piece of cotton. Yeah. The in, it's inside of something. Yeah. By the way, that wasn't inside my shirt. Okay. I just took that from here, but yes, just so you can visualize that, of course. Another preposition in English is into. Now, when do we use into? I-N-T-O, together, into. When we are putting inside something. Yeah, so I buy something in a store with cash. I take the change. Let's say it's $45. Yeah, what I'm buying. I give them, yeah, the sales clerk a $50 note, a $50 bill. They give me back $5, so that's my change. So I can say I put this change into my wallet. Yeah, I'm putting this change into my pocket. Yeah, so that's when I'm using into, to put inside, not just inside. Yeah. Another preposition, and that could sound confusing at first, but is like. Yes, the word like is a verb. I know. I like salad. Yeah, sure. But in this example I'm going to give you, like is a preposition. Now, what is like as a preposition? Like as a preposition is similarity to something. For instance, I look like. So I'm comparing. Yeah, similar. I look similar. I look like my mother. I look like my mother. Yeah. So I have similarities to my mother. Yeah. I'm using like as a preposition, not as a verb. Another use of another preposition in English is near. Now, near. Near is close to, yeah, in a short distance. I live near my job. Yeah, it's a short and quick trip to get to my job. I live near, close to my job. Another preposition we can use in English, and that's more or less half of my list, okay? We are almost there, is of. O-F. One F only. O-F. When do we use of? We use of for possession, for materials, possessions or materials. For example, the wines of France are excellent. Yeah. So possession, okay. The wines that are possessed, yeah, of France. The wines of France are excellent. Now, my shirt, yeah, or my T-shirt is made of cotton, and I'm almost sure that it's 100% cotton actually. So, yeah, my shirt is made of cotton. One F. Yeah. So again, the material of the shirt. Another preposition we have in English is of double F. Now, OFF. Okay. So what's another use? When do we use of with double F? Opposite of on. Yeah. So you know when people say, "Turn off the lights," everything goes dark. Turn on the lights, everything goes light again. Yeah. So opposite of on, basically. Yeah. But of course, we can talk about position with off double F. Let's say I have my hands on the desk, but the desk is made of glass and it's so clean, and my let's suppose my hands are dirty. Yeah. So I would, and somebody looks at me and says, "Oh, come on, man, keep your hands off my desk." Yeah. So off in this case is not on, off. Yeah, double F. Okay. The opposite of on. Now, what is on? When do we use on, preposition on? On top of something, about, um, or about the subject of something. For instance, my computer is on my desk, on top of my desk. Now, another preposition is, another use of on is, again, on the subject of something. I read a book. Yeah. On, I read a book on the election of 2005. Yeah, or 2004, I guess. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, I'm not going to say those books. But yeah, that's another use of the preposition on. Another preposition we can use in English is out. Yeah. Now, when do we use out? For something that is outside. Yeah. For instance, I I went out the door at 5 o'clock. Yeah. So I'm here in a room and I go outside. Yeah, at this time. Yeah. Or when I want to play with my dog, I have a window here, and this window goes to my backyard. And my backyard is where one of my dogs is. So I can easily jump out the window so I can play with my dog. Yeah, so I can go outside of this place, out the window, so I can go play with my dogs. Another preposition is over. Yeah. Now, when do we use over? Now, we use over to talk about above something usually. Yeah. So, for example, Right now, there is a helicopter flying over my house. Yeah. I don't think you could hear that. Uh, Another use of, geez, where's my okay. Oh, it's here. Well, another use of over. Well, it's above also in numbers. Yeah, we could say um, over over 1,000 people watch my videos every day. Yeah. So more than this number, above this number of 1,000 watch my videos every day. Yeah. And yes, thanks for the support, by the way. Yeah. Thanks for watching the videos, for leaving your like and your support. I hope I'm really helping you guys with the content I'm sharing. Another one is, and just by the fact that you are listening to me, actually, that's some good listening practice as well. Well, another preposition I have in English for you is since. Now, when do we use since? For the start time of something. Yeah. I have been a teacher since 2012. Yes, so 2012, 2012 is the year that I started teaching English, yeah, to people all over the world. Yeah, I have students from all over the world, yeah, that you can imagine. Yeah, a lot of countries. And another one, another preposition we can use is since. Through. When do we use through? We use through. By the way, spelling of through, Through. Now, from one side to the other side or around something. Yeah. Example, I enter Central Park here and I leave, yeah, Central Park here on the other side. So I can say, I walked through Central Park. So I entered in one entrance and I left. I got out through another entrance. So I walked through Central Park. Another preposition, or, there's the short. I think a lot of you may know drive through. When you go to a fast food restaurant, yeah, there's usually a drive through where you go to the pickup window, yeah, and you drive through the restaurant, yeah, around the restaurant, getting the food that you need. It's the same through, although it's like the short spelling for there, which is THRU usually, but it's the same word actually. Another preposition we have in English is throughout. So it's the same pronunciation of through, but without together at the end. THROUGHOUT. Throughout. Now, when do we use the word throughout? We use the word throughout for the term of something. Yeah, for the period of something. Yeah. Throughout my life, I have always tried to help people and be kind and gentle to people throughout my life. Yeah. So for the term of my life, throughout many years of my life, I have been studying a lot of topics so I don't depend on other people when I need to do something. Yeah. So throughout. Now, another use of another preposition we have in English is till. When do we use till? Till, by the way, T-I-double-L. By the way, till is kind of a different version of until, okay? U-N-T-I-L. Till. T-I-double-L. Up to the time of something. For example, I could say that I worked till 11 p.m. last night. I worked till 11 p.m. last night. Yes, usually I work till late. Yeah, till a later time. Another preposition is to, to. When do we use to preposition? Well, to give a direction or the intended recipient of something. Um, I am going to California on my next vacation. Yeah. So I'm going to California. Yeah. In the direction of California on my next vacation. Now, the intended recipient is when you are giving something to someone. Yeah. So I'm saying, oh, I gave a ring, yeah, a ring to my wife. Yeah. So she's the intended recipient of the ring. I gave a ring to my wife. Yeah. Another preposition that we can use in English is toward. Now, what's toward? How do you spell that? Toward. Now, when do we use toward? We use toward for in the direction of something. For instance, get out of the road. I'm driving and I think, oh my God, get out of the road. There's a truck coming directly toward me, yeah, in my direction. So I got to get out of the road. So I escape and I save my life. Yeah. So in the direction of, yeah. Or I'm headed toward the supermarket. Yeah. As soon as I finish this lesson, I'll be headed toward the supermarket. Yeah, I'll go in the direction of the supermarket. Another preposition we use in English is under. Now, when do we use under? Below something, in a lower position to something. Yeah. I have a desk here where I have my phone, my computer, and under my desk, there is a rug, there is a carpet. Yeah. Under my desk. My desk is here. Under my desk is the carpet. Yeah. Where my feet are laying on. Yeah, or are lying on, sorry. Another preposition we use in English is, and I'm almost at the end of this list, is until. I'm going in alphabetical order. Yeah, if you haven't realized that, by the way. Another preposition we use in English is until. Now, until, until, is up to the time of something. Yeah. So last night I worked until 11 p.m. Yeah. Last night I worked until 11 p.m. Yeah. Up to that time. Another preposition we use in English is up. Now, up, when do we use up? The opposite of down. I gave you the examples of the preposition down before. Now I'm giving you an example of the preposition up. And that is, I like to hike up mountains. I like to hike up mountains. To walk, going up mountains. Yeah. Usually in safer places. Yeah, I prefer to be safe, but I like to hike up some mountains. Yeah. Or let's say you live in a house that has 2 stories, 2 floors in your house. You can say, oh, my living room is on the downstairs floor, the downstairs story, and I need to go up the stairs to go to sleep. Yeah. So up to a higher position. Now here, another preposition, almost at the end, I promise you, upon. UPON. When do we use upon in English? We use upon for when. Yeah. Usually in a formal context and more poetic use. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you like stories and animation, fairy tales, and stories like that, you definitely have seen Once Upon a Time. Yeah. So once upon a time, there was this person, there was this princess, there was this queen. Yeah. So it's a when, yeah, one time, yeah, in the past, there was this person. Yeah, when there was this person someday in the past. Another preposition we have in English is with. Now, W-I-T, eight. Eight. With basically means together. Yeah. Example of with is last night I had dinner with my family. Yeah. So together with my family. Um, Another preposition, and that's the penultimate preposition I'm going to share with you today, is within. Now, when do we use within? It's basically to mean inside a specific number of things, or an idea that's shared with you, or even a budget. Speaking of business, within, spelling for within, WITHIN, within. Example, um, I always try to live within my budget, inside my budget. Yeah. So let's say I have $1,000 to live in a week. I will live within $1,000 in a week, inside this $1,000. I'm not going to spend more than $1,000 in that week, because if I do, I will be in debt. Yeah. So within my budget. Yeah. And another preposition, and that's the last one of my list that I'm sharing with you guys today. I'm still going to share a couple things before we leave. Here is without. Now, when do we use without? Without, WITHOUT. Without is lacking, not having something. Yeah. The opposite of having is not having, without. Yeah. A lot of people love, I'm going to go back a little bit with together. A lot of people love coffee with sugar. Now, some people, including myself, especially if I'm drinking plain coffee, only black coffee, I like to drink coffee without milk. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, without milk as well, but I like to drink coffee without sugar, lacking sugar, no sugar. Yeah. Another example, very important one. People, humans, cannot live without water. We cannot live with no water. Yeah. That's another example of another preposition we can use in English. And just some ideas of what are prepositional phrases in English. Well, prepositional phrases, one of the most common constructions, yeah, in the English language is a prepositional phrase. Sometimes there are even two or three prepositional phrases used in the same sentence. Yeah. An example with two in one sentence is in 2018, I traveled to Chile. Yeah. In 2018, I traveled to Chile. So in 2015, one preposition. To Chile, another prepositional phrase. Sorry. Because in is the preposition, 2015 is the expression used for the in preposition, the time. So this becomes a prepositional phrase, a combination of a preposition with a word that makes up a phrase and an idea, the idea of that time in 2015 and to Chile. Yeah, another prepositional phrase. A basic prepositional phrase has three words. Yeah, preposition, article, and noun. Now, this is the most common construction. Other words, of course, such as adjectives, may also be added, but the article, um, uh, I'm not going to share, yeah, some phrases, yeah, with that right now. I'm just going to show you some examples of the combination with preposition, article, and noun. Yeah, for instance, article, by the way, a an or the. Yeah, an, indefinite article, the, definite article. One example is in the closet. Yes. My shirt was in the closet. In the closet. Preposition, article, now. In the closet. Another example is my bum is over the chair. Yeah. So over the chair. Preposition, article, now. Over the chair. Yeah. Another example is to the bank. Yeah. Preposition, article, noun. I need to go to the bank. And another example is I received a gift here online from an admirer. Yeah. So from an admirer. Yeah. Preposition, article, and noun. Preposition from, article and, noun admirer. Yeah. Or there is also the prepositional phrase with preposition and noun. That is to Japan. Yeah. Preposition plus place, to Japan. Near New York. After lunch. Before. Oh, that would be, that's good enough. And another one is preposition plus pronoun. Yeah, for instance, to me. She always speaks to me. Yeah. So preposition and pronoun. Me. Pronoun. Preposition to, pronoun, me. These are some examples of prepositions in English. Of course, we could practice a lot more. Yeah. But of course, I'm always sharing videos, and I will definitely share some examples here in the future, in videos that will be recorded, but also in lives. Yeah. But that is it for today. Thanks for participating, and have a great day. I hope this video has helped you with the understanding of prepositions in English. Cheers. Peace. Stay sharp.